Right, well, this is just a quick video. Hopefully, it won't go on for more than probably 10 minutes or so. I just want to go over the three most commonly asked questions that I get asked when I upload a video on YouTube or any videos on here on Facebook or anywhere wherever you're viewing this video. Always like the three main questions always get asked is like, how do you find the lanes? And that's even from riders that have ridden for a while and always gone out following someone or gone out with groups and haven't actually planned any routes themselves. How do you plan a route? And also what device? They always say, what's that device on your handlebars, basically, um, for navigating. So we'll start off with how do I know where the lanes are, apart from experience from doing it for many years. Obviously, when I'm somewhere that I don't know, I use the Green Road map, which, as a TRF member, Trail Riders Fellowship, you get complete access to this map, which is a complete interactive map kept fully up to date. I say fully, pretty well up to date by the various local TRF groups. They all have a representative from each group whose specific job is to keep this map updated. And you can, say, if I click on this lane here, um, when you click on a lane, you get that's the identification number. You'll see, like in all the videos that I've uploaded, it has GRM and then either a 4 or 5 digit number, and that's what it refers to. That is that lane. That's what that number means. But you click on and there's an email address here. So if you've ridden that lane, um, or you want to know something about it, if it's a lane with a deep forward crossing or something, and you might want some more up to date information, you can always send an email to that email address and either report a problem or get some advice or whatever. Um, so when you click on a lane, you get all that information, more details. You get that little simple explanation. Quite a lot of them have got this now, but it's still a work in progress. Um, and obviously, what the main project I've been doing in Devon is I'm trying to record an individual video of every single lane. So when uh, you click on here, is it going to work? There we go. So you get more details, you get a little caution symbol, and I think that is how you report a problem. There we go. This will launch the report pop up when it's complete. But anyway, so video, that's what I've been doing. So this one has had another member do a video, but this is the one that I've done. So basically, you can see if you're planning a route, you can just see what the lane's like. Obviously, most of the videos that I've done is in midsummer, so it's all trimmed back and nice and dry. Totally different this time of year. If you went up through there, it'd be like a bloody river. But yeah, so you can get an idea when you're route planning. There are various different ways of, if I zoom out and try and find one. So green lines, which I already talked about, that's open lanes. So if you've got like this one across like Fire Beacon Hill, that one's been TRO'd for years. A TRO is a traffic regulation order put in by Devon County Council for no use by motorised vehicles. So that's a permanent TRO, so you can never use that lane legally. You get a blue line like here, Old Cleve Lane, which has had a huge landslide on it at the moment, completely blocking it. So that's got a TTRO, which is a temporary traffic regulation order. If I'm going on too much about acronyms, I'm sorry. But yeah, that tells you all about it. So, history of harsh surface water damage, and also Devon TRF have repaired it before, done loads of work on that lane. Now it's severely washed out, and a TTRO is enforced till 18th of the 7th, 26. So you just basically got to check at the end of the lane for updated notices or whatever. So that's definitely out of bounds at the moment. And then you also get a dashed line like that. So that normally means there's a problem, a temporary problem on that lane, sort of like a fallen tree or something, which has been reported, or fly tipping, or anything like that. And then you also get a grey line, which means it's mostly a tarmac road, but it identifies as an unsurfaced road, even though it's surfaced. But yeah, may as well just ignore those. No fun at all. Um, yeah, so basically, we'll start now. Seeing as I was starting over near Credison, just to plan a route. So that covers sort of the basics of the GRM. Like for you've got lots of other options down here. You can do other bits and pieces. You can overlay a GPX route you've already got onto the GRM to check its legality or whatever. You can also choose different maps depending on what you like. I've obviously using Ordnance Survey map because that's the same as what I use for planning. So on to planning. I use Outdoor Active. This is a obviously on the desktop version, but it's also an app, so you can use it on your phone or tablet or whatever. I find the desktop version is a lot better. It never used to be like that, but they've updated it a lot recently, and it's definitely a lot better. So, say we want to start a run in Crediton, park in the train station car park. You've got all these options down the bottom. The main one we're going to follow, or sort of focus on, I should say, is this one, which is turn follow pass on and off. So at the moment, up here in this box on the left, you've got it as a motorcycle route. Some people like to do it as like a walking route or a like a horse riding route because then it pins to the lanes better. But I find that now they've updated it, it actually works quite well. Like really, you haven't got to worry about that. Just put it as a motorcycle route. That's what I do. So what you're looking for is these green dots. That means it's an unsurfaced road. And then you also get sort of the green crosses, which is a byway. But there's not so many byways in Devon as there is unsurfaced road. The majority are all unsurfaced road, which is identified like that on a Ordnance Survey map. So if we pull this map up, you can see that's the lane I was just looking at, this one here. So you can go onto here, you can click at the end of there, that's your next waypoint. Then you can see if it's going to work. Yep, works fine. So you can go right down through that lane. So that's our first lane. So I won't keep referring to the GRM because I know all these lanes. So you can just keep planning your route like that, making sure it's going the proper way. Go up through that lane. Yeah, works up through there. So we can go all up through there. Go down to this lane, up through Walesbeer, which is definitely a tricky old one. Muddy this time of year. Yeah, we can just keep going. They want to go down through Poyle, go up through Watery Lane, which is a nice bit of river up through here. And at the moment, it's pinning to all these lanes, so it's nice and easy. You haven't got to worry about, going off route up through Wave Village. And you got Cotton Farm. See that? It's just simple. You know how quick it is to already done 12 miles of a route. If you know where the lanes are, but even if you're having to refer back to the Green Road map constantly, you'd still be going quite. So this is a good one here. This is a good example. So this lane here is shown North Coombe, South Coombe. It is shown on an OS map as completely yellow road, which would generally mean it was completely surfaced, but that is definitely not the case on that one there. Just try and find here it is here. Look. So you can go on there, find out the details. From the south is now a tarmac surface lane, Coombe Lane, blah, 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 blah. So it's yellow on OS maps. It's a full width track that crosses house access. And the Midlands kept fairly clear by farm use. North Coombe, very shallow track runs between high ridges, some gravel and all tarmac. But you can see, look, there's definitely no tarmac there on that part. Is there more than one photo? Don't think there is. But yeah, so now if I go back to the route planner, I don't think the route planner is going to like it going down through this lane. No, see, it doesn't let. So it tries to take you in through a farm, which obviously you can't do because that's not a public road. So when it comes to a time like this, you need to come down to the bottom, click follow paths off, and then just make the route yourself. So you might have to zoom in a bit to get the corners right. It shows up as a dash line, but that doesn't matter. It's just what it just means when you've plotted it, it's come as dashed. It's just a dash line. So keep clicking all the way down through here, down to the bottom, around that corner, and then up to there. And then hopefully, if you turn follow paths back on, it'll work all right. There you go, back to following the roads now. So we'll just make a short little route here. Like I say, I know where most of these lanes are, so it's nice and easy for me to make this. Now, will it go up through there? Yeah, goes up through there, fine. Out on the main road, up through here. So I'm just going to make a short sort of circular route back to. All right, it didn't like that, look. So now we've got to go back and then see if we can go up through it. Might sometimes it just thinks, you don't need to go down through that lane, so it'll take you back and go around the roads if you don't click enough times. There you go, worked fine now. Yeah, down to there. So what we done? About 6 or 7 lanes there, and then we'll just click back to A, add to route. There we go. So made a little circular route there from Crediton. It's only 24 miles, but if you were just going out for a couple of hour and a half, good little route. Yeah, so it's as simple as that, really. So then you would just come down the bottom here, click save. You want to call it short mid Devon route. Try and put a space in. Oh, bloody hell. Bit late in the evening for typing. You click save plan, and you can see your plan. And then what you would need to, so that's you've made a track at the moment. So when you transfer it to whatever navigation device you're going to use, you will have to turn it into a route. But either you can do that here, look, up the top, there's a button, or you can do it on the whatever device you use. So I'll just quickly go on about what device I use for navigation, which is just a handheld GPS, which is a Satmap Active 20, running 1 to 25,000 OS maps. It's quite an old unit now, but I've had that, bought it off another TRF member about 4 years ago, probably. Yeah, nearly 4 years ago it would be. And it's been brilliant. It's just such an easy. I find it quite an easy device to use. It keeps its signal really well. Battery life's brilliant. It will last 8 to 10 hours on one charge, so you haven't got to worry if your bike's not got a USB charge or whatever. You haven't got to worry about it. I do have a spare battery pack for it, but I've never had to use it. Not even when I've been out for a proper long day, like 150, 160 mile days. Yes, that's what I use. But obviously, there's loads of options like Garmin Montana 700. That's another real common one. Bit more pricey, obviously. Don't know what they are, about 400-500 quid. Whereas a good, decent sat map you can pick up for 150, 100 to 150 pound. And a lot of them, you do see a lot of them which have barely been used. And I think they're sort of just like the popularity of them is waning a little bit, so the price is coming down. Like good units were going for like 300 quid still, but they don't seem to hold their value that much anymore. But like I say, I'll probably upgrade at some point, but that's what works for me at the moment. And yeah, so yeah, hopefully that has helped anybody that newly joined the TRF or just general how to make a GPX file or whatever. Yeah, hopefully that's helped anybody. I've gone on about 13 minutes, but there we go. You had to put up with it.